Greetings, Game Changers. This is Classic Games Redefined, and my name's Rich, and we're looking at yet another Universal Mutator. I'm going to post a link below in the description if you want to see where this popped up and I became familiar with it. I had done my prior video on deck stacking, and somebody said, oh, you should take a look at this format from Magic the Gathering. So I figured it would be useful. You'd have to pick out the context it works, but Magic has enough cards to work. I just have sample cards here, and I will discuss in a minute here what I'm talking about, but I want to give a little bit of background. I'm not showing Magic cards. I really don't want to get in trouble with any publisher, and if I do, Tabletop Simulator has a problem. And I explained earlier about camera issues and everything else. It's not as important. Just imagine these are Magic cards. Anyhow. The format, what I'm about to describe here is Universal Mutator, because it applied and changed the game Magic would be here. And I did deck stacking. This is what would be called hand stacking. In Magic, there are several terms they've referred to it that is applied to Magic. I'll explain how it works. Some of them were 3-card blind Magic, or 5-card blind Magic, or 4-card blind Magic. There's also another name more recently is Perfect Hand Magic. And the way it works is that you could be anywhere, and we'll explain what it was. Take any game with complication. I don't think it will work with poker, but you really need cards that you can play that can counteract each other. And what you're doing is you're going to be dealt so many cards, 3, 4, or 5, and they're dealt, and they're played face up, as opposed to having a hand. And you're going to select from the deck which 3. You go through and look and see what you want to do. Let's say we're doing 3 cards. And what you do is you'll look at them. You pick out whatever 3 you're going to have. And then the players will play them like a hand, but they rig their hand. So it's kind of like deck stacking as opposed to a queue, but here you're playing with, imagine the entire shrunken down deck, and they will compare the 3 cards that are in hand as a deck. And hang on, let me do the following. That's interesting. The cards are stuck together now. I don't know why. So anyhow, let's do the following. There we go. Anyhow, you would play with the 3 cards, and with Magic, there's mana involved. You'd have other requirements and cost. So the person would play whatever else. And actually, when they're playing on a form, they don't actually do it. They would actually look at the hand. But you could play it this way. Just simply play with these cards that you arrange. You get them all at once, and then you would play them accordingly. So anyhow, with 3 cards, and the reason why it was like card blind is 3-card, 4-card, 5-card. Number of blind you had, and then there's rules accordingly for play balancing certain cards that wouldn't be allowed. So anyhow, that's what you did with the card blind Magic here. Pretty much the hand stacking. Is it works that way, and what you're trying to do is just give the players pretty much a chance to control, similar to what you have with deck stacking, but you have a single hand. You don't have a deck of cards that you stack. So anyhow, just figure I want to show this off. Not a big deal. You'll probably see things that are similar, and pretty much like hand drafting, similar to that and everything else. This one, the players have total control of what they're going to do, and they do it. And usually it's done secretly. Although you probably could do one thing where I go through my entire library, pull out a card in my hand, the person pulls out another one, counter it that way. So anyhow, with Magic also, the 3 cards, wherever else they have, you have to cover the mana cost. So you're going to make sure you get something else. Typically, one of the cards will play in this, and the 3-card blind is that a Black Lotus will be there because it gives you enough mana. And then you want to make sure your other cards come into play. And there are other versions. There'll be one here when they do it that cards that won, the 3 cards that won, if they won a prior round, you're not allowed to play with those cards again. They're banned. So anyhow, just something to do like this. I got out of the world of Magic. I do want to thank people in that thread there. Check the link below for the discussion for bringing this up to me. I did want to get on a record. So anyhow, that's the latest. This is hand stacking, and that's pretty much the latest. So I do want to thank you for watching. May your die always roll 5, and remember, don't hate the player, change the game.